Hello, I'm here today with Rob and Gordon Robertson. We are at, what is the name of the event today we're at, guys?
The Mustang Stampede.
Mustang Stampede in Mustang, Oklahoma. So behind us here we have a 2019 Mustang Bullitt, 2008 Mustang Bullitt, 2001 Mustang Bullitt, and the car that inspired them all, the 1968 Mustang GT. Rob, which of these do you own here?
I own the 68 Fastback, the 08, and co-owner with my dad on the 01.
All right. That means, Gordon, you must own the 01 and the 19 here?
The 19 is mine, yes.
All right. So which of the two is your favorite?
The favorite?
Yeah, the favorite.
I've got to say the 19.
Yeah.
Since the others are, well, I guess half of the 01 is mine, but it's just newer.
Faster.
Got all the new hooks, bells, and whistles,
Yeah.
and it's. But the 01 is a lot of fun to drive.
Right. And that 01, where did you get the 01 from?
We met a
Charles
guy.
Charles Jones.
Yeah, Charles Jones is his name.
Of course, yeah.
He was on the tour with you all,
Tour,
the
yeah,
Mustang
I'm
tour. We met him at when they stopped at Yukon and got to know him a little bit. And I don't know if Rob told him then that we were looking for an 01, but he said that he had one that he hadn't advertised, but it might be for sale.
Yeah.
And they got together on the phone or an email later on, and he decided he would sell it. He said he wasn't going to sell it to a kid that was going to make a hot rod out of it or not take care of it. He said he wanted to sell it to a collector because that car had never even been in the rain. When he went to get it in California, when he bought it from an individual, he said he drove over 200 miles out of his way to avoid thunderstorms. And so the day that we had decided to meet in Dallas, he was nice enough to come to Dallas so we didn't have to drive all the way to Houston.
From
again.
Houston.
We, it was raining like crazy.
Of course.
And I thought, you know, we started looking at our schedules and it was going to be like 4 or 5 more weeks, because he could just do it on the weekend, 4 or 5 more weeks before we were going to be able to do it. And so he said, well, what the heck, you know, it'll get wet.
Yeah.
And but he had sent us pictures of this car, and I've told some people there wasn't a square inch on that car you couldn't have eaten your dinner off of. It was the cleanest.
Good way of putting
It was
it, yeah.
cleaner than the 19 underneath when I got when
wow.
we bought it. It was amazingly
yeah,
clean
that's
for an 18-year-old car, and it had 8,000 miles on it. And but we actually, I had ordered the 19. And we were waiting on it. It took about 4.5 months. And while we were waiting, we kind of got together and talked, well, we're going to have all 3 of them except for the 01. And at the time, neither one of us were really in love with the 01 body style, but it was kind of growing a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we got a chance to buy that clean a car at a really good price. There was worse cars that were asking a lot more money than that for it.
Yeah.
And we just said, well, we'll have all 4 of them. So I kind of got antsy waiting on the 01. I mean, waiting on the 19.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we kind of.
But that body style has grown on us very much so now.
It's
Just with the Bullitt model in particular for New Edge, or just New Edge in general?
What as far as well, I'm talking about the 01 body styles,
Right.
but well, I don't know. I mean, I like them all in their own right. I mean, and my wife has a 17 GT, this body style. My mom, who got when she was 70, got her first Mustang. Of course, you got yours at that age too. But she has a 16 GT, and then
it's ruby red.
My son, who's standing off camera here, keeping people from walking in front of us, he's got a 14 Roush Stage 3, and I know he's 17, and people think you're an idiot for letting your kid have that, but he's a good kid. He hasn't abused it at all, probably because of the little computer plug-in I have that tells me everything he's doing everywhere he is on my phone. So he knows he can't do anything with it without me finding out. So we're kind of a Mustang family.
That's awesome.
And then we both drive F-150 Ford
So
trucks.
Fords all around.
All
Yeah.
Ford.
When the 19 was starting to be advertised in Keys by Ford, what were the thoughts running through your minds? Was it ever?
You want me to tell this real quick?
Well, we'd heard a lot of rumors about the 19, and everybody we thought it was going to be an 18 because Ford's big on 50-year anniversaries.
Right.
We thought it was going to be an 18, and we started seeing stuff on YouTube where they were actually test driving a car that had didn't say Bullitt or anything on it, but they said, I think this might be the new one, you know, and of course there's all kinds of speculation. Well, then it didn't come out as an 18.
Right.
And at the same time, Sean Kiernan, who was the son of the guy that bought the Bullitt years ago.
The actual movie car.
Yeah, the actual movie car first went to a employee of the studio, and he kept it for a short period of time, and he sold it to a police detective in
New Jersey.
New Jersey.
And his name was also Frank, wasn't it?
Frank, Maraca is his name.
Okay.
And Frank kept it for a while. Actually took it on a couple of stakeouts, he said, and but then he decided to sell it, and he put it in Car and Driver or Road and Track magazine for $6,000, and Mr. Kiernan bought it. And he bought it as a daily driver. And his wife was a school teacher, and she drove to and from school for 3 years.
That's pretty cool.
And few people knew that it was the movie car. It was advertised for sale as the movie car when Kiernan bought it.
Right.
And,
Well, and all those articles were coming out in the Mustang magazines. The Bullitt's been found. The Bullitt's been found.
Yeah.
I can't remember the guy that was writing the articles, but he had actually been allowed to go see it, but was sworn to secrecy. And I was just like, God, I want to see that car. I want to see that car. Well, I'm going to tell something a little embarrassing on me here. When we thought the 18 was going to come out as a Bullitt, I took a whole bunch of high-res pictures of my 68. I'm real proud of it because I went, painstakingly trying to make it like the movie car. I moved the antenna. I put a round painted mirror on it, The only thing my car doesn't have a 390. It's originally a Highland Green 302 GT, but it doesn't have a 390. But other than that, I tried to just copy the movie car exactly. So I was real proud of that. So I'm take all these pictures of it. This is kind of embarrassing. I send Ford marketing this real nice letter on Oklahoma City Police letterhead, pictures of my car, saying, hey, I've heard there's rumors that there might be an 18 Bullitt. I would be just tickled pink if you wanted to use my car. If you wanted to use my car in any
kind of promotion.
A promotion kind of a deal. And so I get this real nice letter back from Ford, and it says, Mr. Robertson, your car is beautiful. Thank you for your interest, blah blah. But right now, there's no plans to build a 2018 Bullitt, and I think they sent me a pen and a can opener and something else, and I thought, okay, well then. When I'm watching, and he's watching at home too, and we're on the phone with each other, I'm watching the unveiling of this car. And then you hear the 68 fire up, and you can't mistake that sound. And it came driving out. I mean, you can't imagine the goosebumps that were bumping up on my arms. And little did I know at the time, Charles Jones and some of those guys were in the audience live watching this. He tells me later. But I'm getting all these goosebumps, and I'm thinking, well, no wonder they didn't want to use my car. They got the real thing here. So I felt really stupid for a little bit, but it was so cool the way they did that with Molly McQueen coming out that I forgot about it real quick, and I still have a letter that says there's no plans for an 18. Ford did not lie to me. There were no plans for an 18. Yeah, there were plans for a 19, but not an 18. In fact, one of my partners at work in the detective unit I'm in, he's actually standing right off camera too, next to his black GT here. But he said, well, he goes, they didn't say they weren't making a 19, and just handed the letter back to me. And I was like, well, they're not going to do a 19. That won't be the 50-year anniversary. And then little did I know. So, but anyway, and we get on the phone, and I said, hey, did you just see that? He's like, yeah. And I said, I'm going to have one of those. Now, I wasn't going to buy one new because I wouldn't be able to afford it with the other cars and stuff. I said, I'm going to let somebody buy one, play with it for a couple of years, and buy it. And he's like, I'm kind of wanting one too. And I'm like, well, I think I'll just let you buy it then, and then I'll get to enjoy it, and I don't have to pay anything.
He had the two Mustangs.
Right.
By that time, my wife had bought a 2016 red GT Mustang, and
My wife had the 17.
the next year his wife bought the 17 Mustang,
didn't have any
and I was kind of feeling left out.
Yeah.
So
don't blame
I
you.
thought, well, I'll just buy the 19,
Yeah.
and that'll give us, you know, two of the three Bullitts. And while we were waiting on the 19, we ordered it in April, and it came in last month, middle of last month. While we were waiting on it, we both got to thinking, you know, that 01's going to be the only one we don't have out of the whole collection.
Right.
And maybe we ought to start thinking about looking at an 01. And about that time, the tour came through, and Robbie talked to Charles about it.
Thank God he kept that one as nice as he did.
And this unbelievably clean car. And so we thought, well.
And Charles, if you're seeing this, again, thank you.
Yeah. And we thought, well, why don't we just split it, you know? So that's what we did.
All right. You guys have anything else to share? Any other stories or comments?
I don't think so.
No? All right. Well,
I don't
thank
think
you guys
so.
very much. I really appreciate
All right,
your
hey,
time.
thank you. We
So nice
appreciate
to
it.
meet you guys.
Thank you.
All right.